Hey everyone, I've started to grade your journal submissions. Um, since we are at the very beginning, but there's a 1 week lag between when you are submitting an assignment for grading, and when I'm able to grade what you've already done and get it back to you for feedback. I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to delay. Um, the first assignment that I started to grade, I could see that we may have some potential issues with regard to how to properly source our work and cite it in APA 7, which is the requirement. And the rubric, this course is a little bit different than some of the other courses that I have taught with Southern New Hampshire in that the rubric is it is heavily weighted where these citations are concerned. So if the citations are not done properly, it's taking a lot of points off your grade. So I want to make sure that we are set up for success to the best of my ability. Just understand that your composition course is the course and the instructor who's supposed to teach you to do this. This is not me. So if you have any direct questions about citing or something that I can answer quickly, then I can definitely do that for you. Outside of that, your composition course was supposed to be the place where you learn to do this. And so if you really need huge help, because perhaps you're taking that class concurrently or for whatever reason you need much more help than a simple hey, Dr. Johnson, I have a question for you. Can you just respond real quick? Then I want to encourage you to use your writing center under academic support. They have tutors who can help you with this kind of thing, and they can take much more time in helping you with this than I will be able to. So I just decided I'm going to create a little bit of a video for you so that you can see what this should look like. Also, this is a bit of an atypical situation. Referencing your sources and citing in APA is typically done in an academic paper format, not a template like this. So if you were to submit a formal paper that has a cover page, page numbers, you know, um, uh, section headings and whatnot, at the end of that formal paper, you would have a reference section where all of these sources that you're being asked for are all compiled at the end of the paper in a reference section. And the point of what we call parenthetical citation or in-text citation is to create a shortcut so that as you're writing, you don't have to put all this junk in to show where your source is coming from, breaking up the flow of your paper. It's a shortcut that allows us to quickly drop in parentheses a little set of symbols, basically, that helps the reader to know where to go and look at the back of the paper to see where you're getting this from, so that it maintains the flow of your ideas, your thoughts and ideas, keeps them from being broken up too much as we're trying to make sure we don't plagiarize. So the template takes you out of that natural rationale for why we use citation, and it causes you to kind of cluster it all kind of together in a way that I believe can possibly cause some confusion. So we're gonna talk about this template, and I'm going to set you up for my expectations so that you know what it is that I'm looking for that keeps you as close to what you would naturally do in its proper context, and will keep you from losing any points on the rubric. Okay, so in blue is everything that our template is asking us to do. So if you're going to do your weekly submissions in the template, and you're also going to submit your final project in the template form, this is what it should look like. So I put in blue everything that we're being asked for in the template, because your paper, if we're going to stay true to APA format, it is very rigid. It does not allow for any flexibility, so we cannot be creative about this. Your text has to be in black, so anything that you type as a response has to be in black. It needs to be in either Arial or Times New Roman font, and it needs to be 12 point. It cannot be 11 point. It cannot be 14 point. You cannot use another font other than Arial or Times New Roman. I will deduct points off of your work if your writing is not in Arial or Times New Roman 12-point font black. Okay? Again, if I don't force you to do that, then I am allowing you some creativity that's going to, down the line, when you write something, and it's because, well, I'm used to doing this in Dr. Johnson's class, it's going to set you up for failure, because you're going to eventually collide with a rubric and an instructor who requires you to write this as it was designed to be written based on APA. Okay. So I did not do media outlet 1, media outlet 2, media outlet 3. I took the 2 and 3 out and kind of collapsed our instructions so that you can see what the top of this thing should look like and what the bottom of this thing should look like. So just know that on your template, you will have a 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll get to that last section that then has us combine our thoughts about all 3 outlets. Okay, so as an example, media 1, provide the citation for the source from the first media outlet you chose in APA style. So really what you're creating here is you're creating your reference. Okay, this is your reference source. One of your classmates used this article from CNN Politics, so because I was trying to get something out to you all quickly, I just borrowed this source. And you can see the way I have this thing laid out, that the author's name is always going to be left justified, and every other line that falls below it is tabbed over. Okay, you can see part of it is in italics, part of it is not. All of this stuff is a necessary aspect of APA 7. I don't ever try to just do this by hand if I don't have to. I am responsible to check it to make sure that it is aligned with the requirements, but it takes too long to do this, folks. So what you really want to do is you want to use a citation generator. And if you're using online sources, it is so speedy. It's wonderful. So, oh. Pardon me, that was my phone in the background. So what you want to do is take your address, your online address, and you drop it in your citation generator. And the citation generator, you just tell it APA 7. It creates what you're looking at here all by itself, and it creates it instantaneously. I am almost 100% certain that Southern New Hampshire provides you a citation generator and manager that will do this for you, and you need to use it because it just will save you time and a whole lot of stress. I used easybib.com. That is the one that manages all of my citations across several. Okay, across several institutions. So you can use easybib.com. I think they do provide you a little bit of free access, but after that, then there's a fee for using it, and I can't remember what it is. So I absolutely am encouraging you to go through Southern New Hampshire, because of course that's going to be free to you. So the again, you take your address, you drop your address in, say APA 7, it generates this for you. So this particular article was written by two authors, Hansler J. We don't know what the first name is, and it's not necessary. APA only uses the initial, and Britsky, and that person's first name begins with H. And then, of course, you can see it was written in November on November 1st of 2024. So that's the most important stuff. And then once we get down here, explain social elements of the event as reported by this media outlet, we have already put up here that we are talking about the Hansler and Britsky article. So in this particular section at the top, this is all I need you to do is have your source properly formatted up here. And then down here, where you're starting to explain what your take is on this article up here, just talk about the article. The article presents this with regard to a particular social issue. What reasons or explanations are given for how or why the event happened? This event happened according to this article because blah, 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 blah. You're just, all you need to tell me is this article, the authors of this article, and keep on going. When you get down to the bottom section of the template, it asks you to compile your ideas over the three media outlets. This is where you're going to have to use the citations, okay? And we call them parenthetical citations. Describe how each of the reports from the three media outlets influenced how you feel about the core social issue involved. Again, you're now going to bring it all together. So this is not necessarily what this article says. I just made it up so that I could get something to you quickly. So don't hold me to any of this information as truly representing the article. So, in my opinion, the position that North Korea is simply looking for an opportunity to flex its global muscles is an immature and simplistic point of view. Okay, because I am basically implying that two of these articles were saying that North Korea is just looking for an opportunity to make itself look stronger in the world theater. There are only two articles that I'm saying basically said that, and I'm having a response to that. And my response to that is, well, no, I think it's probably a little bit more complicated than that. So I basically have took what they have said in common, and that is that North Korea is just trying to flex its muscles. And I'm telling you what I think about that. And in my particular case here, for the example, I'm saying that I think that that's, not a full picture of what they might be doing. And because maybe these two articles were presenting this in common, then I want to let you know this is where I'm getting this from. This is the content that was in these two articles. And so my Conley article in 2024 would have hinted towards that. And then also my Hansler and Britsky 2024 article would have hinted towards the same, that North Korea just wants to look mighty. And so I put them together in the same parenthesis because they both are basically saying that. So I open up a parenthesis, Conley, you can see that I just have the author's last name, a comma, and then the date, the year it was published, not the full date, just the year. Then I have a semicolon because that's the end of that article. Now I'm going to present another article for you, or another source, and that has two authors, and it's just last name, the ampersand sign, and then the other last name, a comma, and the year. This is all you need. Author, year, semicolon, author, year, semicolon, author, year, semicolon, until you have provided all of the different sources that contribute to what it is that you're saying. Okay. Also notice that the parenthesis closes inside the punctuation. You can see the period is on the outside of the parenthesis. So if you're ending with a period, if you're ending with a question mark, if you're ending with an exclamation point or mark, that's all going to be on the outside of the parenthesis, which is a little bit weird for some of the other formats. Okay, so then the other example I give you is, well, what happens if we use the author's name as part of our sentence? Here, instead of saying, I agree with the third article that North Korea's political dependence, blah, 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 and then at the very end, I would cite the authors and date. I'm using the author's name as part of my sentence. I agree with Michaels and Timberg. Well, since I've already presented the names of the authors here, I don't have to then put this whole thing. I don't have to put Michaels and Timber, comma 2024, and then all that in parentheses. I don't have to do that. I only have to put what I have not mentioned, and that is the year. I mentioned their names, so their names are already here. So right behind their names, I just drop in parentheses the 2024 article, and that lets the person know which article of Michaels and Timber they would be looking for at the very end of my paper. Okay, that parenthesis with the year there can go right behind the author's name, or you can put it in its normal place, which is at the end of the sentence, again, right before your punctuation. So I could have said financial and manpower losses, parenthesis, 2024, close parenthesis, period. Okay, so that's what's kind of nice about using the author's name as part of your sentence, is that you can take that parenthesis year and you can put it either right next to their name, or you can put it at the end before your punctuation. You cannot do that if you have not used their name as part of your sentence, as I have in the first sentence. I don't mention Conley. I don't mention Hansler and Brisky anywhere in this first sentence. I just present you with my thoughts without their name. So it has to go at the end. So whatever is easier for you, if you feel like I need to always keep it at the end next to the punctuation so I don't mess up as you're learning, then go ahead and do that. It's perfectly fine. If it feels a little scary to, kind of move away from what is the normal requirement and put it somewhere else. So I'll let you choose what you would like to do. Okay, so that's a very quick overview of how to do this. So when you are using your template, again, you're going to put your source in its reference format at the top, and then you're just going to talk about your ideas. You're not going to worry about parenthesis anything in here, just talk. When you get down to the bottom where it's asking you to compile all of this information, as you are referring to what is said in the articles, you must put your parenthetical citation as a you're basically letting the world know, I didn't write this on my own. These are not all my thoughts. I am pulling information from other people and I am commenting on it. You are giving people their proper due for having written something that is legal and required. And so all of the parenthetical stuff is going to happen when your template is asking you to converge all three of your sources and talk about them. All right. So if you have any questions, please email me. Do not put it in the discussion board because it's just difficult for me to see it there. Email me directly and I will get a response to you. If you're asking me a question that I think the response will be beneficial for everybody, I will do something like this again so everybody has the benefit of the knowledge. Okay? Thank you all.